Hey there. It's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
Some people do stupid things. Don't do stupid things. You are about to hear my opinion. Do your own research.
Unveiling a century-old plan of political manipulation and engineered crises.
And the Morgans had faith in Husse. In 1912, Colonel Husse authored this book entitled Philip Drew, Administrator. The hero, a thinly disguised version of himself in real life, was a behind-the-scenes manipulator of prominent political figures. In the disguised form of a novel, the book lays bare the general strategy that has been followed ever since, even to the very present. It tells of how a small group of insiders cause a depression, and then bring about the election of a man named Rockland. Rockland gives fireside chats, and launches a program called the New Era, to strengthen government control over the masses. Eventually, the insiders who control the government weaken the country deliberately to the point of civil war, which provides them with the excuse for establishing a dictatorship under Philip Drew.
That was totally giving me New World Order vibes, like Project 2030, digital footprint, 15-minute cities stuff. Definitely getting that vibe. But it was a century ago. Well, over a century ago.
Alligator Alcatraz. Yup, this is a real thing. Real scary. So Florida officials recently announced that they are building an off-the-grid facility to house immigrations and custom enforcement detainees in the heart of the state's Alligator Alley. 30-square-mile property in the Everglades called the Miami-Dade Collier Training Facility, home to a virtually abandoned airport, will soon be the site of a 1,000-bed facility to hold criminal illegal immigrants. Now, the governor tasked state leaders to identify places for new temporary detention facilities. I think this is the best one, as I call it, Alligator Alcatraz. Udheimer said the location presents an efficient, low-cost opportunity to build a temporary detention facility because it does not require heavy investment and perimeter confinement measures, aka those gators will eat you. If people get out, there's not much that's waiting for them other than gators and pythons. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. Udheimer said the project could be rapidly completed in just 30 to 60 days of beginning construction, which was slated to begin Monday. Report says the facility will cost the state about $450 million a year to operate, but that could be reimbursed at least in part by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, a good old four-letter organization. Now, another option was Guantanamo Bay. Not very good options, both terrifying. But yeah, this is really happening. I would not want to go to Alligator Alcatraz.
I just heard about this morning, and I'm just like, oh, that's freaking cool. I mean, there's extra space there, and it's not being used. They've already got an airstrip. They're already building it up. That's fantastic. You got to do what you got to do. And it's just going to be like a waypoint in between, hey, we caught you, and deportation. It is also encouraging a lot of illegal aliens to self-deport because they don't want to go there and get eaten up by gators.
Mutacji rozsiostrzone, czyli mieć na występie zobaczyć. Czego leci? Diablo!
Stupid. I'm gonna make a whole episode one day of just people finding stupid crap with a mirror that looks like the devil. Because you can pretty much find it anywhere if you look hard enough.
And I'd just like to recognize the courageous people who picked it up and brought it. Now, there have been spheres found before, and in the United States, special forces thugs go in and get them. And people have been killed possessing them. Very smart that you keep it safe and that you also disclose it. It's transparent. Everything goes out. My assessment of this is pending, but it's certainly real. It's using an energy field and what we probably would say is electrogravitic, which means a type of anti-gravity effect from the electromagnetic forces. And whether it is a purely extraterrestrial origin or a mix of an ancient human extraterrestrial development, there are 4 or 5 possibilities. And this is what we want to look at. If we can get some of the materials and do carbon dating, we can from the polymer, then we will know how old it is. If it predates this kind of manufacture, it'll be extraordinary. So I think there's a lot of investigation. We have some really good scientists here with us who can do those research with you and confirm and help and join forces with your effort. So my own sense of this is that it's obviously real, it's anomalous. We have seen these sort of spheres before.
Come on now, how freaking exciting is that? Greer is getting involved with the Boogosphere, gonna do some testing and stuff and find out what the heck is going on with that thing. It's pretty exciting.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Stephen Greer. I'm in Mexico City. As many of you know, we've been examining the Boogosphere for the last 2 days with Congressman Burleson and a group of scientists. We've just been notified by Jaime Mason that there was an attempt by fake policemen to enter the vault where this Boogosphere is stored, and we have notified security and the apparatus I'm working with under law enforcement. And you should know that the other risk here is that we have taken specific samples from the Boogosphere that will be tested in a state-of-the-art lab to prove whether or not the metal, as well as some of the other components, are of Earth or outer space origin. Those scientists' information have been provided to the top law enforcement and security apparatus that I'm working with, and so any sort of attempts to interfere with this examination will be known, and the people and perpetrators will be held to account for. So this is what I wanted people to know, and we're doing everything to set up security for this. Thank you.
All right, here's what I think. I don't think it was just random people dressed up as fake police officers trying to get in there. I think it was like the Men in Black type thing from that the Kona Blue project, right? Where they're trying to reclaim alien technology so that they can go do their whole backwards engineering stuff with it. So it was like higher ups, like in the shadows type people trying to get in there to get it. Then again, it may be a huge fake. Sound off. Let me know what you think. Do you think it's real? Do you think it's fake? Do you think this is all just a big dog and pony show just for why ever? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. And while you're there, do me a favor and hit that like button and consider subscribing.
What's the CIA's most disturbing experiment?
They had a experiment that they did in Canada, and I am never... So many times people are like, oh, well, you must know all about this MK Ultra project and names and dates and locations. I'm not a historian. I don't give a shit about 99% of MK Ultra. I care about the techniques and the methods and the protocols and stuff that were a result of MK Ultra. I'm not like, let me go fact check and get everybody's name right and dates. I don't have any of that because it was never important to me. But they did this thing in Canada, and I can't remember the guy's name, but they took people coming in for just normal appointments, like I have postpartum depression or I have anxiety, and they would against their will do this thing called psychic driving. It had nothing to do with being psychic. It just meant psychic of the mind. And they would give them massive, prolonged doses of LSD. And in some cases, tape their eyes open like Clockwork Orange and play these videos in front of their face all the time. And they thought it was going to like reprogram their brain somehow. But what happened was a lot of the people had to learn how to walk again. They couldn't control their bladder. They had to learn how to control their urine and stuff like that again. Some of them lost 30, 40 years of memories from their life. And these were people who checked into a clinic for like anxiety. And this was funded by MK Ultra, and it was in Canada. And it's so well known and it's so open that even the Canadian government paid the people's families who just got wrecked because of this thing.
Whoa. I didn't know there was that much overreach with the whole MK Ultra thing into Canada. I know that they did some stuff, but I didn't know anything like that. That is absolutely wild. Like you just go into a clinic for anxiety or depression or something like that, and they turn you into a frickin' brain mess. Wow, that's messed up.
Okay, so you know how most of us have iPhones, right? And iPhones every now and then will come out with updates. You know, the little software notification that you get, oh, your iOS needs to be updated, right? And it's like, you don't have to go take your phone nowhere for you to get that update. You don't have to plug nothing in, nothing. Like, it just happens. If you have an iPhone, it comes up. And some people have it to where it'll automatically update and like sync up, or like you have to go and manually do it like in your phone, right? And you can always tell when somebody hasn't had the update, because like if you try to send them something or show them something, they can't see it on their end, or it may look different on their end until they do the update. Okay, stick with me. So all cell phones are connected by the cell phone towers, like everybody's on a network, right? So keep that in mind. Now, I know most of us have seen or heard of the movie The Matrix, right? If you haven't, look into it and then come back. Now, The Matrix, that's a whole conspiracy theory and rabbit hole in itself, but let me get to the connection that I'm making with it. So there's a scene where they show basically all these pods of people in these pods of like goo, and they're all connected to a thing which is like the Matrix, which basically just kind of like shows that they are all connected, I guess, like subconsciously in like in another dimension or another reality, something like that. Like I said, go watch the movie. Okay, stick with me. So my theory is, if we are in a matrix and we're all quote unquote hooked up and we're all just like living in a altered reality, to me that would make sense why we have Mandela effects. What if Mandela effects simply are updates? We all get iOS updates and iOS. And the reason why some people remember certain things a certain way is because they didn't get the update for whatever reason. Or maybe the update just didn't work for whatever reason. And for the people that it did, it erased or altered certain things within their reality. So then that would show that we're not really jumping timelines. Our realities are just all being altered or updated in a way that certain people that are running things would want it to be. Does that make sense?
It took her a minute to get there, but when she did, it freaking blew my mind. That's fantastic. I freaking love that. I don't think that I've ever heard that theory before. I don't know if anybody else has, let me know. But that is fantastic. They just didn't get the update. There is also the theory that the government is making little changes just to see how the people react, how the masses react to these tiny little changes, because they just keep adding these little tiny changes. Oh no, it was always like that. Don't worry. No, you're just crazy. And then you just shut up about it because you're like, oh, it must have always been like that. But it wasn't. They made the change. Or maybe we didn't get the update.
This story about Jan Husse is gonna blow your mind. Husse was ordained as a Catholic priest way back in the 1400s, but you're gonna be shocked at what he did. He defied many of the false teachings and practices that were within the Catholic Church. For example, he came out against the practice of indulgences that enabled common people of the church to just donate them money in place for a supposed free pass to sin. For this, Husse was excommunicated by the Catholic Church, arrested, and thrown in prison until he would recant his views, but he refused because he knew the truth. But this prophecy is the craziest part. Sadly, he was eventually burned at the stake, but before he died, he said this: "You're gonna burn me, but in 100 years, someone is coming who you can neither roast nor boil." And guess who came 100 years later? Martin Luther, the one coined for the Protestant Reformation.
YouTube is run by criminals. Dropped another little bit of knowledge into the comment section, which I absolutely adore. Thank you so much. I love community suggestions. If you have a suggestion for something that you would like to see on this channel, please let me know. I'm more than happy to learn some new stuff. And we're going to learn a little bit more about this Jan Husse fella. Apparently, he caused a revolution of sorts.
Did you know that today marks the anniversary of the death of Jan Husse?
Side note, it's not actually today.
Jan Husse was a Czech theologian, philosopher, and reformer who lived in the 14th century. He is best known for his critique of the Catholic Church and his call for religious reform. Husse believed that the Pope was corrupt and the Church should find their authority in Christ and Scripture. His teachings inspired many followers and sparked a movement known as Hussitism, which eventually led to Martin Luther being called a Hussite. However, these ideas were seen as heretical by the Catholic Church at the time, leading to severe persecution against Husse and his supporters. In fact, on this day in 1415, Jan Husse was burned at the stake for his beliefs. So why is it important to remember Jan Husse today? What can we learn from history's courageous figures like Jan Hus? What do you guys think?
So very clearly, Jan Hus was not a fan of what the Catholic Church was doing. And because of that, it just wasn't right. He didn't feel it was right in his religious bones. He was like, no. And he spoke up about it, and they didn't like that none too much. And then there was a war because this guy was like, screw you and your stupid churchiness. This is wrong. And did you know that this dude also invented the tank? Yeah.
This is the first armored vehicle in history, invented 500 years ago in Hungary. This is the Husite Wagon. Unlike modern vehicles, it is not motorized but horse-drawn. Its armor was very simplistic. It consisted of multiple wooden plates on top of each other. And to maximize firepower, every wagon was manned by 18 to 21 soldiers, 4 to 8 crossbowmen, 2 handgunners, 6 to 8 pikemen, 2 shield carriers, and 2 drivers. As opposed to modern vehicles, it was only used in defensive, as it intended to protect from cavalry charges. With deadly effect. With a combination of primitive howitzers and hand cannons, it would unleash hell on charging knights. However, for full benefits, the wagons had to form a circle. If the enemy attacked before the Hussites could go into formation, the wagons would then become a death trap.
One of our most formidable machines of destruction brought about by a religious war. There's quite a few of those, really. But just another pearl of wisdom brought to us by YouTube is run by criminals. Thanks.
You see this plane above you, and you may only have 5 minutes left to live. Let me explain. This is the Boeing Doomsday, a plane in the U.S. Air Force dedicated to safeguarding key figures, like the president, during a nuclear crisis. Engineered for rapid response, one of its engines operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, ready for immediate takeoff in the event of a nuclear threat. This aircraft has advanced thermal and nuclear shielding, which keeps it protected against the impact of a nuclear blast. Once airborne, the Boeing Doomsday can fly non-stop for an entire week, thanks to its aerial refueling capabilities. Loaded with countermeasures like chaff and flares, it's designed to stop missile attacks, making it hard to destroy in the skies. Only elite and highly experienced fighter pilots are allowed to operate this aircraft. But that's not all. On top of its defensive capabilities, the Boeing Doomsday is a mobile command center. It has advanced radar and surveillance technology, enabling real-time monitoring of potential threats. Inside, you'll find some of the highest levels of tech in the world.
So I just put something together inside of my brain, and I feel a little stupid because I'm way late on it, and which is totally normal because I'm always late to the party. Recently, I showed that clip of the guy talking about the numerology thing, and he was like, oh, the plane just got there, and my brain was like, okay. And then over the weekend, the whole Iran thing happened, right? And I just put it all together. Oh, he was telling us that something's gonna happen. And it was before all of the Iran stuff happened. They brought in the boss's big plane so that he could be safe and stuff. And I just finally put that all together. And I wanted to share my hindsight because it's 2020.
Assassin who disguised himself as a cop to shoot down Democrat politicians and their spouses. He killed 2 and seriously injured 2 others. Today we're finding out he wrote a letter to the FBI claiming he was trained by the U.S. military, quote, off the books, and that Tim Walz asked him to kill Amy Klobuchar so he could take her Senate seat. Belter's facing state and federal murder charges.
This whole thing just keeps getting deeper and deeper, and it is insane. And I don't condone the taking of another human life for any reason whatsoever. But allegedly, he was told to do so by them higher ups, and he's singing like a canary, so I cannot wait to see how this unfolds.
The Standing Stones of Stennis are located on the Orkney Islands in Scotland. Dating back to around 3000 BC, these stones are among the oldest megalithic monuments in the British Isles, reflecting the advanced prehistoric culture of the time. The stone circle originally consisted of 12 stones, of which 4 remain standing today, with the tallest reaching about 20 feet in height. The stones are believed to have been used for ceremonial purposes, potentially aligning with astronomical events, such as solstices and equinoxes. The site is part of a larger ceremonial landscape that includes other significant archaeological sites, such as the Ring of Brodgar and the Maishawe tomb. The Standing Stones of Stennis attract numerous visitors, and efforts are ongoing to preserve and protect this ancient heritage site for future generations.
I think it would be absolutely fantastic to be able to travel back in time to when things like that were built, like how they were built, why they were built, who built them. That just the knowledge of advanced civilizations previous to our own that we don't even comprehend is fantastic. And I would love to know why, how.
When it comes to Baalbek, we're talking 3 900-ton stones that were moved approximately a half mile and then lifted and stacked some 30 feet off the ground. That becomes a matter of physics, like physics defying that say. Let me be clear, we could do that today, absolutely. But what it takes for us to do that today is magnificent. I like to use this example, which is that the largest stone in modern times is the 340-ton stone that's at the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. To move it 104 miles, it took a year of planning. It cost $10 million, and they had to custom build a trailer truck around it. This trailer truck they built around is 260 feet long, 30-something feet wide, 44 axles, used 198 semi-truck wheels. Jeez. And they moved it. It took 9 days. They moved it at 4 miles an hour. They had to go around certain roads because roads couldn't even withstand the weight of it. So that stone is 1/3 the weight of the Trilithon stones, or at least of the Ramesseum statue, which is 1,000 metric tons.
And that was just one rock with modern technology. And people are saying that the Egyptians built the pyramids. Come off it now. That's just, it's absolutely insane. They had to have been found. They had to have been built by other means. And that is just one of the most amazing mysteries that I just love. I can't get enough of it. On that note, I'm calling it for day. Sorry, it's a short one. I gotta go to work. So thank you so much for sharing your time with me. If you haven't already, please hit that like button and consider subscribing, and then come on back, because we're gonna watch some new stuff. I'll say different things, and it's gonna be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day.
Today's coffee talk, served with a side of internet madness. I scroll through static in a velvet robe, aliens, clones, and lizard pros. My Wi-Fi's haunted, or so they say. Echoes of TikToks never fade away. Is that a glitch or the face of fate? Clickbait dreams on a data plate. Digital ghosts and coffee toast, we laugh with fear. We love the most when stories break and logic bends. The weird begins but never ends. Dudes with theories, hats of foil. Government stealing microwave oil. Flat earth maps in a donut shape. And don't forget that moon is fake, she said. Watch this, then hit record. The rabbit hole's a motherboard. Digital ghosts and coffee toast. We sip the strange, we roast the host. Truth in memes or maybe lies. It's all just fun until it fries. That lady just married a ghost pirate. No further questions. Digital ghosts and coffee toast. Mrs. Collins knows the most. Laughs in code, lights up the screen. The strangest stuff you've ever seen. Today's coffee talk. Always a wild ride.